Hey friends. Today I wanted to talk about one question that I get the most from clients, and it is not at all what you would expect. It is absolutely nothing to do with strategy, systems, sales, anything like that. Nothing to do with that. But it is literally the one question that I get the absolute most. It's something that I go through with people, clients, all of the time. I have this discussion multiple times a week with clients, and it's something that I am sure you think about a lot too. I had to work through this a lot. I'm really good at it now, and I don't question this so much because I've worked through a lot of this. And this is where I find like my psychology degree, my education on that side of things really comes in handy because I can do a lot of this like mindset type work with people really well. And one of my clients always laughs because she's like, it's just going to be another mindset session today, isn't it? Well, it might be if that's what you're bringing, but so the question always, are you sure this is okay? Or like something along those lines. Or is it okay if I do X this way? And questioning whether if you're going to do something a certain way and you're going to actually decide that this is the way that you're going to do it and you're just going to put something out there this way. And I'll give you some solid examples of this. But getting that permission to actually just go ahead and be like, no, this is the way that it is. This is the way that I am doing this thing, and actually like standing behind that, standing firm on that, and feeling okay about it. And I get, we go through this the time, all the time. And it's fine that we do. I'm not complaining about that at all. I totally get it. And this comes from, especially as women, and I tell them all this all the time, it is the conditioning that we have to always look for some kind of, someone to say that it is okay. Someone to give us that permission to be like, yeah, that is okay to do that. Because just just deciding that that's the way that it's going to be isn't something that comes inherently as easy to a lot of us. And it's very interesting. And it comes up in a lot of things in business. And it's, structuring the way that you're structuring your business model. Is it okay if I only do X number of calls? Or the opposite, because we see that, you know, some people are saying, oh, don't do any calls or don't do sales calls or don't do this or don't do that. And then it gets in your head even more because if you want to go against that and you're the one that wants to do these things, then you're questioning, well, is it okay if I do that? Like, am I the one that's not doing things right? And the thing that I always come back to, you get to do whatever the fuck you want because it is your business. It's your business. So you get to decide whatever you're going to do that feels right for you. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. If we're thinking about like it in terms of that, we'll talk about this and then talk about, because the other thing that does come up also is trying to please everyone in terms of how do I make this so that it's structured for every single client that I might ever get. And making sure that you're meeting absolutely everyone's needs. And we can't do that either. That is impossible. And it's really, really hard, especially if you are someone that cares a lot about doing a really good job and serving people really well. It doesn't mean that you're not doing that. But you also, it it is going to be impossible to make something that is right for absolutely everyone. So we'll talk about that in a second. But something, the one thing that throws people off a lot is, wanting to structure their business in one way that seems totally different from all of the bullshit that you're hearing online, and then questioning yourself whether you should actually be doing that, whether it's the right thing, whether, is that actually the way that you're going to be successful? But why is this person doing it that way and this person's doing it this way and da 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 da? But you feel really good about wanting to structure your business model this way. You know, if you're someone that wants to work more one on one, do that. Fucking do it. Like, you get to make that decision. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You get to decide that. And it's something where you kind of have to catch yourself in this because it comes up so often, so often. And it's something where you have to kind of notice that you're getting back into this pattern and asking yourself or trying to structure things because you're getting back into this. Well, maybe I shouldn't do it this way because, if that's not the way that it should be done, who the fuck made up these rules around what should or shouldn't be done? Like that doesn't fucking exist. It's not a thing. Like, yes, generally there are like things that you have to follow, but like the way that you want to structure your business, how many calls you want to have, how, like, all of that shit, what times they're at. That's another big one. This is a big one. You get to decide. You do get to decide. And you get to set that for yourself and say, I'm available from, you know, I will give my example actually. This will be easier. I will give what I do. So I actually had to change my hours a little bit recently because I was finding that, I really had to sit down with myself and think about, what do I really want? And this is something that comes up when we're doing this. And it's looking at, like, what do you really want? And it totally relates to this. Are you sure that this is okay? Kind of questioning, what do you want? And so I was looking at, the hours that I had when I was taking calls, and I had to change things a little bit because I find it really fucking rushed in the morning if I have calls that are scheduled at 9:30 even, because and I'm actually doing a podcast on spilling the coffee is going to be about business and parenting. But anyways, it is really rushed in the morning and I need more time. I need more time in the morning. And it's one of those where I was like, "Ugh, should I actually do that? Should I just fit in the calls?" Like, but then I was like, no, I need that time so that I can show up the best for my clients. I I fucking can't stand when I'm rushing in the morning. Alexandra is really hard to get to school. And It's something that a lot of days I struggle with for many different reasons. And I need some time to just kind of like unwind from that and then go into my day. And sometimes, it's if someone schedules a call at 9:30, I don't get home from dropping her off until like 9:20. And that gives me like 10 minutes. And it feels crazy. And I hate feeling that way. I want to just like unwind and then feel good going into my calls so that I can really support clients and feel good about that. Right. So I adjusted my schedule and I did have a little bit of that feeling was like, should I actually do this? Because I know I have clients that do book in calls at that time, but also I knew that I needed to be able to give them what they need the best that I can. And so I shifted that around and it's going to be what it is. I also, made some time for later in the day where people can book calls then that works. So it's really like looking at what you can do, but it's making sure that this also works for you. And that's, I think so often we get lost in like feeling like we need to please everyone else. And it is something that we do so often. Like we feel like everyone else has to come before us, but it is okay to also think about what you need. And so when you come and you're asking yourself like, oh, is this actually okay? Should I be doing this? I mean, unless you're being an absolute asshole, which I don't think that you are. If you're listening to my podcast, you're probably not. I'm going to tell you, it's okay. It's okay. And this is kind of talking about that other side of things that's not the whole pressure from the industry kind of, saying, oh, this is the way that you need to structure it and feeling bad because you're not doing that. This is looking at, trying to kind of please everyone and structure things so that you are trying to make sure that you are essentially pleasing everyone except for yourself. And it is okay to actually think about yourself and what you need to, because you're going to show up better. And this is something that I always, always tell them. And I had to tell someone today, I said, like, because something she keeps doing is going over and over one of her offers and one of her programs that she has. And I said, okay, so why are you redoing this again? And, she had brought up before, well, people are, kind of asking questions about this part and why is it structured this way? And why are we doing this? And why are we doing that? And I said, okay, so what questions are they asking? Are they like realistic things? And that's the other thing. You do have to think about that. Is it realistic or is it things that you do actually need to challenge people on? Because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's like, you know what, though? You need to put the work in. And it's not being an asshole. It's like actually, because the truth is, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, whether it's whatever, you're going to have to put work in to get results out. Like it doesn't just happen, right? We all know that. But you can't, what I said to her is, you have to look at some point, why you're restructuring this over and over again. What do you actually want to do? What do you want to do? Stop listening to what everyone else is saying because if you keep listening to what everyone else is telling you and saying that they want and asking you to change, you're never going to stop changing it. There's never going to, like, you are never, ever, ever going to be able to please everyone. There's never going to come a time. And so it's really, really looking at, is it realistic? And kind of thinking, you really have to think about, what do you want? And being okay with the fact that it is okay to not please everyone all the time, because you can't. You can't. And it is okay to set up your business in the way that you want to do it the way that you want, to serve clients the way that you want to. That's all okay. And so I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other questions around this, just message me, because it's honestly, this is something that I go through with clients a lot. It's something that we talk about all the time. And I know that a lot of people kind of get stuck on this, and they get stuck on like trying to rework things and trying to just, you get stuck in your head thinking about like, is that why I'm not getting results? Or is this the reason, do I need to listen to all of these people that are, you know, or the one person that's telling me that they don't like this one thing, but everyone else does? We start questioning ourselves, and you don't have to. You really don't. You can like stand firm, stand strong in the way that you want to structure things, the way that you want your business to be run, the way that you want to do it, and do it that way. So hopefully that was helpful. If you like this episode, give it a 5-star rating and review. I am still doing my 20 recurring revenue strategy sessions for this month. There are only a few left. Actually, a shit ton got booked already. So if you want to grab one of those, you need to grab one quick. I will put the link in the show notes. And as always, I will leave you with, go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.